Talk to me. WSRadio.com.
The San Diego Council on Literacy brings you Literacy for All with your host, Jose Cruz.
Welcome back. I'm Jose Cruz from the San Diego Council on Literacy, and we are continuing our conversation with Tracy Block-Zareski from the Dyslexia Training Institute in San Diego. Tracy, we were just talking a little bit while we were at break. There are so many aspects to this subject, and I want to make sure that we get to things that you want to share with our audiences. Let's go really to the conversation about the challenge of getting accommodations for children who have a learning disability, who need help and are not getting it. Because I hear, and I know you hear a lot of stories about parents say, hey, I want help, I want accommodations, I want assessment, I want that IEP, and I want it played out for my child, and they don't feel like they're getting the help that they need. How much is that happening, and why is it happening?
Well, it's going to go back to what we were talking about earlier, that our universities aren't training our educators or our school psychologists about identifying. Assessment in the school system is only designed to identify if they qualify for special education services. Doesn't diagnose, but they can look for the indicators of whatever specific disability there is. And so they'll qualify under a category. So in the special education system, it's called specific learning disability. It's one of the categories which our kids usually qualify under. But you have to know what the disability is. So a specific learning disability is not a diagnosis, it's just a category. So within there, and even within the law, it states such conditions as dyslexia, dyscalculia, graphia, ADD. So it specifies in there that those are the disabilities that would qualify. So, but you don't need an actual diagnosis to get an IEP. What a parent has to do is say, I put in writing that I would like my child assessed for learning differences for special education services because they're struggling greatly in school. And they don't even have to be behind grade. They can be passing. But if they see their child spending an inordinate time or getting extraordinarily frustrated in any particular area, they just have to write that letter, and then the school is legally required to respond to that letter with either an assessment plan or with what they call a prior written notice, meaning they're not going to assess and why. And so once they get through that process, it'll be determined if they qualify for an IEP, which is an independent educational plan. And that would be where they get their services and their accommodations. They may qualify not for an IEP, but a 504 plan, and that's where they get just accommodations. And that's if they're, functioning okay, but just need accommodations to help them continue to be successful and support them in their learning environment.
So where is the breakdown? Is it a resource breakdown? Is it we don't have the teachers, we don't have the curriculum to help this student or a number of others who are in this situation?
There's many areas that there's breakdowns. There's the lack of understanding of what dyslexia is and how to help these kids. But there's also, they don't promote identifying these kids because, as I said in the beginning, towards a little earlier, is that a lot of times they're just seen as being lazy and not applying themselves because reading disabilities are not a disability you can look at somebody and say, oh, they have a reading disability and a writing disability. You can't really see it. It's something that is only evident when you hear them reading or when you see them trying to write. But you can't look at somebody and know it. So they're intellectually capable. So it's just this why is it they're not learning? They're intellectually capable. So what is it? And when they don't understand it, they don't know how to identify it.
So what does it mean? And I've heard this where people say kindergarten teachers can see signs of this. What are they seeing?
Well, they can see signs when kids have a hard time manipulating the language even orally or understanding the concepts of print. We read left to right and learning the phonemes for the graphemes, the sound system of our language with the way we map them to graphemes and being able to play with words. And they may not pick up normal things like we add ed to the end of a word to make it past tense, or at least the most common way. have a really hard time they may figure out a word on one sentence and then 2 sentences later not know what that word is at all and not be able to sound it out, and like it's just really painful and laborious. They might not be able to do rhyming, just playing with the language. If I have cat and I take off the k, what do I have left? And not being able to do things like that.
So those are things you can assess for early on.
Absolutely. There's some great screeners for kindergarten, first grade that should be happening. And we actually worked with this organization called Decoding Dyslexia, which is a fantastic organization. There's an organization in each state in the United States. It actually started in New Jersey, and it's parent-driven. And they're helping to pass a lot of laws to help get early screening, appropriate remediation, appropriate teacher training in place, and it's happening in every state slowly but surely. And Kelly and I actually worked with the Decoding Dyslexia California group, and we did get AB 1369 passed. And unfortunately, a lot of the stuff that we originally had written into the law got taken out. So we'll be going back. But we are, the early screening is starting to happen in many states, and it's going to make a big difference. These kids should be learning while their peers are learning to read in kindergarten, first, second, third grade. So we need to identify them then so we can get the appropriate remediation in place.
Very good. I have to ask, is it AB 13?
AB 1369.
Very good. Now,
in California.
why would, or who lobbies for the things that were taken out? Why does that happen?
Well, there's a lot of backdoor things that happen. I tell you, if you want to learn about our political system, go help try to pass a bill. It's really interesting. But when we originally helped write the bill, Kelly and I helped write the bill in conjunction with people who are professionals in writing the bill. We had in there screening, teacher training, pre-service teacher training, meaning those that are getting to become teachers. We had in-service training for teachers who are already teachers. We had appropriate remediation described in it. All of these things were in there. And what ended up in there was that we could have phonological processing deficit would be a qualifying factor for special education, which it technically already was, but we basically got a little checkbox they can use
Very
now. And
Yeah.
we got the dyslexia guidelines in California. And it's a step forward, but we have a long ways to go. And it was, some of it was unions that were pushing because they didn't want things to change a whole lot. And there's just a lot of political stuff that happens.
When I listen to the things that are out there, that you're out there, that Kelly is out there, that there are these tools for detecting a learning disability for children at a very young age, it's very exciting.
It is.
That at least we can know. What's frustrating is not having follow-up to those things.
Absolutely.
And not having folks in our system, education system, or more of them, who are trained to respond to what we're seeing.
Correct. And that's what can happen is even if they're identified and they qualify for an IEP, if the staff isn't trained to teach them, it still causes a lot of frustration for these kids. And so it's, demanding that our educators start getting trained, and the educators want it. I'm telling you, I've never met a teacher that was like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. They're all like, oh my gosh, where can I learn more? They want this. They want to help your kids. They are passionate about helping kids. They just don't know what they don't know.
And I thank you for saying that. Just on all our years of doing literacy work now, I've been in the field 30, I can't even count the years anymore, 35 years now, and you've been in a long time and doing things at the depth that you're doing them. We understand that we give our educators a whole lot to deal with. I mean, their plate is full. They have to play every role with the child that we bring to the school. And so they need more help, more resources, and certainly teachers want to succeed at being teachers. Do you see a time where it will be a standard in teacher training programs for them to get the kinds of things that you're offering through the Institute?
Well, this is what Kelly and I always say. Our dream is that we go out of business because we became irrelevant. That is our dream. She jokes that she'd be happy to go work at Trader Joe's, and I'd be happy to be a dog walker. But I think it's a long time coming, but it will happen. That's one of the great things about the Decoding Dyslexia movement. They have just really brought a lot of awareness and are helping pass bills throughout the country, and they are helping to make an impact, and that's going to be fantastic. And there is some movement. It's slow, but I hope in my lifetime that it will we'll see some changes for our teacher training.
Hold on to that vision. We need you out there. Let me ask you one more question. I think we have time for that. If you had a particular story that you like to share with people about someone that you helped, whether it was a mom, a dad, a child, or a teacher, where it's like, hey, this is what makes it worth it?
Wow, that's
or just in general.
a lot.
Yeah, I know, right? Who do you pick from, right?
Well, we were sharing before we came back on air that you actually did my very original training when I just started out as a volunteer in what was called the Open Book Program through the YMCA with kids.
Long time ago.
And that's what intrigued me to start learning about dyslexia, because I worked with two very, very bright kids who weren't learning to read, and nobody could tell me why. And so it was the beginning of my journey. But I would say there was this one young lady that we helped through our center who was just severely dyslexia. And dyslexia, is on a spectrum of mild, moderate, severe to profound. Mm-hmm. And I would say she's more in the profound area. And that young lady just worked her tail off to learn. And she one day decided she's going to stand up in front of all the teachers of her school and give a presentation on dyslexia. And she did it. And I was there just as a support person. And to see her stand up and teach her teachers, all the teachers in her school, about what dyslexia is, that she's capable and she's bright and she's learning because she has the right way. She's being taught with the right way. And all the teachers in that room, first off, many of them had tears in their eyes. And all of them were like, I want to learn what it is that helped you. And, it's stuff like that you just go, because she was facilitating change at a school and with teachers who really want to help these kids. And it was just really probably one of the proudest moments I've had.
That's very exciting. It comes full circle, and that we can learn from all folks. Tracy, I'm so glad that you're doing the work that you're doing with the Institute. We'd like to have you back sometime.
Great.
Thank you for joining us.
Awesome. Thank you.
And to our listeners, I'm Jose Cruz from the San Diego Council on Literacy. We're grateful to you joining us. This is the Literacy for All radio program powered by WS Radio, the worldwide leader in Internet talk.
Nowadays, internet devices are an integral part of your home. Everyone in your family has a smartphone, tablet, or a computer. Life is easier knowing that all your devices are secured and your family can surf the internet carefree. ESET Multi-Device Security Pack does just that. One license for all your devices. With ESET, it's simple to stay protected and save money. Enjoy safer technology with ESET Multi-Device Security Pack at ESET.com. That's ESET.com.
On the internet, your business's reputation can be unjustly destroyed in an instant. Don't wait for that to happen. Building and marketing your 5-star reputation can increase your business by as much as 19%. Take control of your reputation and have the 5-star reputation you deserve with Reputation Marketing Solutions by DSI Development. Become the go-to company by visiting 5starrepmarketing.com. The number 5starrepmarketing.com.
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Moe's Guitars has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit moesguitars.com or their Facebook page. mozeguitars.com, 619-698-1185.
Tired of presentations with no impact, no inspiration, and no traction? Do dull speakers have you and your team disengaged and distracted by smartphones? Christopher McAuliffe brings energy, insights, and 2 decades of experience, delivered with punch, humor, and heart. Your team will leave energized, uplifted, and with a sense of purpose. Visit ChristopherMcAuliffe.com to bring some heat to your next speaking engagement. McAuliffe. ChristopherMcAuliffe.com. Nowadays, internet devices are an integral part of your home. Everyone in your family has a smartphone, tablet, or a computer. Life is easier knowing that all your devices are secured and your family can surf the internet carefree. ESET Multi-Device Security Pack does just that. One license for all your devices. With ESET, it's simple to stay protected and save money. Enjoy safer technology with ESET Multi-Device Security Pack at ESET.com. That's ESET.com. Tired of presentations with no impact, no inspiration, and no traction? Do dull speakers have you and your team disengaged and distracted by smartphones? Christopher McAuliffe brings energy, insights, and 2 decades of experience, delivered with punch, humor, and heart. Your team will leave energized, uplifted, and with a sense of purpose.
Visit ChristopherMcAuliffe.com to bring some heat to your next speaking engagement. McAuliffe. ChristopherMcAuliffe.com.